America's middle class has been the envy of the world for decades, with its idyllic suburban homes, fancy cars, and white picket fences. But a comprehensive new study shows that America has lost yet another #1 ranking. America's middle class is no longer the richest in the world. David Leonhardt is the editor of The Upshot, the Times' data-crunching website and column. And he and his team analyzed over 3 decades worth of income data and came to this and other startling conclusions. He joins me now. It's a fabulous project. And the most startling piece of data was this shift that has taken place in the American middle class. And the way you looked, one way of looking at it, which you presented, was if you look at the median income of an American, and that's not the richest person, not the poorest person, the person smack in the middle. And I think the Census Bureau defines it at about $50,000 a year. Someone earning $50,000 a year. Look at this chart. Since 1981, that's what's happened.
It's not a good story, is it? Since 1980, in 1981, we had by far the richest middle class in the world. And what has happened since then is that income growth in these other countries has been substantially faster for the middle class and the poor. Now, this is after-tax income. That's a question a lot of people have. It's after-tax income. It includes direct government benefits, things like Social Security. So this is really what people have to spend. And it's really worrisome. And it's not just a 30-year trend. You also see it if you look since 2000. In some ways, it's more pronounced in the last 15 years.
This is the stunning one. So you see that all those other countries had much stronger income growth at the median level. But then since 2000, I mean, the United States barely grew at all.
Yeah. And so the obvious question is what's going on here? And there are a few things going on here. One, we have had economic growth that is quite similar to many of these other countries. Obviously, we've had faster
economic growth.
Yes, faster growth than Spain, particularly recently. Right. But it's not as if the U.S. is growing a lot faster than Sweden or than Canada. It's quite similar. But more of the bounty of our growth goes to a smaller group of people. So our economy gives more money to the executives at the top. And since the bounty as a whole, the pie as a whole, is growing similarly, if you give more of that to fewer people, there's less left over for everybody else. Not only do we have more pre-tax inequality, but those other countries then do more to, and it's a dirty word here, right, redistribute income. They do. Canada, these northern European countries do more after people get it to say we're going to take money from people at the top and give it to people at the bottom. But 3, I think, is really important. It's an issue I know you've talked a lot about, which is education. I know there's this whole notion out there, oh, is education overrated? And to be self-critical of the media for a minute, sometimes we fan that in a way that's not healthy. Education is not overrated. These other countries have done a much better job educating their population. If you look at how many college graduates they're producing, if you look at their skills on technology or literacy or numeracy, that makes it easier to create good-paying jobs. And one of the reasons we're falling behind is because we're falling behind in education. We used to lead the world in education and in income. We don't anymore in either.